topic is study and evaluation of the internal control system during an audit. So in this topic we should learn introduction, objectives of internal control, components of internal control, famous cases, substantive test and test of control, case study analysis. We should learn how we auditors use internal control when they begin process of auditing. We know that when we use our procedures and we should learn all the types of the control system inside the company, and we should learn first of all the highlight the sites of the which components we should use in auditing financial statements. So today communication and the integrity of financial information is of utmost importance to the companies. Integrity function performed by the auditing profession. Auditors need to obtain an understanding of internal control and evaluation of the extent to which controls might be relied on the assure the accuracy and the reliability of accounting. So I have sent on your Telegram group the Mississippi University's achievements in the internal control. There is said that internal control uses when I will open it. So University of Mississippi, it is connected with the American Institute of the Accountants and the American Institute of Accountants Committee on Auditing Program, and certified public accountants use like this information when they use internal control. So you can follow like these links and show the right this instruction about the internal control. So we should learn how the company use their activity and how they define an internal control, how internal control influence to the audit procedure. If the company uses all the segments of internal control, and also inside the company they have internal auditors, for the external auditor it will be easier to check the company, because the auditors can use the internal control information and evaluate how they sufficiently use these assignments. So internal control in accounting and auditing, internal control is defined as a process designed, implemented and maintained by those charged with governance, management and other personnel. To provide reasonable assurance about the achievements entity, we should use reliability of financial reporting, compliance with law and regulations. So it means that how the company use the laws in this statement. So the third one, effectiveness of efficiency of operations and the safeguarding of assets. Assets, we know what is it, yes? So assets take part a crucial role in improving the company's profit. If the assets of the company is owned by the company, not by the credits, bank loans, so it affects to the company to sustain developing the economic growth of the company. So we should find objectives of internal control. It can be A, B, C. Accurate, reliable financial information, compliance with laws, and efficient of operations. We should find our components of internal control, its control activities, risk assessment, information and communication, monitoring, and environment. It is the best solution how the company use their internal control, and we evaluate by these criteria the company's internal control. I write here crime because if the company don't use internal control, the crime situations may be in this company, but much more, and the fraud maybe in the company have in the financial statements. We can use and evaluate these components. Components of internal control, first of all, control activities. It is the action supported by management policies to address risk. 5 specific control activities. It is adequate separation of duties, proper authorization of transaction and activities, adequate documents and reports, physical control over assets and reports, and the independence check on performance. If the company use like these control activities, and the company will have a lot of opportunity to have the financial statement for investors. So the next control is risk assessment. It is the identification and analysis of risks relevant to financial reporting in accordance with accounting standards. Information and communication, it means that ensuring that the entities control environment, risk control activities, and the performance results communication company-wide. So it depends on this. Monitoring, what is it? It is the ongoing periodic assessment of the quality of internal control performance. Services include studies of existing internal control. Control environment, this action policies, so the management system should use control environment. If the control environment not sufficient, the control won't work for the management. So, and I should explain you some slides here. The next one is famous cases for internal control failures. So we know what is failure. If we don't use auditors were sued for negligence as they failed to bring the defenses of internal control to be board of like these situations. So we can say that Arthur Andersen, it was a huge American audit company, and it had the failure with not checking the internal control. They believed that the internal control of the company works the best, and they give not true their audit reporting. So this Arthur Andersen company closed after not finding the fraud of the Enron company. So there are a lot of examples about the internal control. We must test the controls. It is the one component of the evaluating of internal control. Test of internal control, where the systems that produce the product and the contents of the company are checked. If the system works, then the resulting of the company should be accurate. And the last definition of today's our topic is difference between test control and the substantive test of transactions. Test of control focuses on assessing the quality of the evidence. So what is evidence we know, yes? We auditors should collect the evidence when they check the audit company. It is the third stage of the audit. So, or information that has been processed by the accounting system. It is the test of control. The substantive test of the transaction related to only tracing the accounting information, the source of documents to journals, to the general ledger and subsidiary ledgers. So today's our lecture is over. If you have any questions, you can give me. If anything is not understanding for you, if you cannot follow any information, you can. Also, I recommend you to read by heart to the Mississippi University's instruction about the internal control. So they say in this case about the COSO model. COSO model uses when a company have internal audit. So it is widespread model of the internal audit. If the company uses COSO model, they can be evaluated and their quality of the financial statements will be very reliable. So if you have any questions, you can give me. If you don't have, I will give you some questions about today's lecture. So first question is, what is meant by internal control system in the context of auditing? So in the context of auditing, what is internal control? Who will answer this question? So in the context of the auditing, what is internal control? Why auditors should use, evaluate and study internal control? Who will answer the question? Dana, please.
In auditing, an internal control system is a set of policies and procedures established by management to safeguard assets, prevent errors and frauds, and ensure the accuracy of financial reporting.
Okay, you are right. So we should safeguard. We know that. What is safeguard? Yes, safeguard assets. They cannot be used by the fraud people in the company. Yes, and the internal control helps to use safeguard of assets and effective use these type of assets. Yes? Thank you. Sit down. Next question is, second question, how can the strengths or weakness of internal control system affect audit risk? So, strengths or weakness of internal control affect to the audit risk. Who will answer the question? Asad Bey, please.
If internal control is strong, attention to errors and scams decreases, and auditor works makes the work of the auditor reliable. If internal control is weak, errors become easier to hide. The auditor will have to pass more tests and
Yes, you are right. If the internal control weakness, we should more testing procedures, yes, when we study the internal control. If we know that in the company internal control strengths, we shouldn't spend much more time in order to evaluate the internal control. So you are right. The next question is, if an auditor discovers material weakness in the internal control system, how should they respond? Who will answer this question? So, in practical situation, Zioda, please.
The auditor should tell the management about the vacant and think about who it affected the audit. That is in short.
Okay, you are right. So, if the auditor finds the weakness of the internal control, first of all, they must mention it the management of the company, yes, and be sure that they have some procedures in order to improve, strengths the internal control. Sit down. And fourth question, how does sampling apply when auditors test the effectiveness of internal control? So who will answer it? Sampling, audit sampling. Ruslan, please.
When auditors check how internal controls work, they don't test everything. Instead, they take a sample of transactions or activities. If the sample shows that controls are followed correctly, auditors can say the controls are effective for the whole system.
So the auditors can use sampling, yes? Sampling when auditors cannot check all the documents. 100 documents, not physically, auditors cannot check all the documents. That's why they use the sampling method. Sampling, yes. So, and it can be more effective, yes, when we use sampling. Okay, sit down. And the fifth question, why is the evaluation of internal controls considered a crucial stage of an audit? Who will answer this question? Norbert, please.
Why internal control evaluations is crucial in an audit? First of all, risk assessments identifies areas with higher risk of misstatement.
Misstatement.
The second, audit approach, strong controls reduce testing, weak controls require more. So compliance required by auditing standards.
Yes, you are right. So we use these auditing standards when we have to find effectiveness of the internal control. Yes? Sit down. And the last question, what factors do auditors consider when evaluating the effectiveness of internal control? What factors we should consider? Who will answer this question?
When auditors evaluate the effectiveness of internal control, they look at several key factors to decide whether the controls are well designed and operating properly. The main factors include control environment, risk assessment, progress, control activities, information and communication, monitoring activities, competence of personnel, and etc.
So you are right. So these factors affect to the strength of the internal control. Yes, you are right. So sit down. It is the last question, and so who feedback for today's our lesson. Feedback. Can you give me feedback about today's lesson? No? Nobody wants. With your own words about today's lesson. What you learned today? What control criteria you defined today? So, what you can say about this? So, if you don't have any feedbacks, today's our lecture is over. So, goodbye.